So the new Warbond trailer has yet again sparked a controversy within the community because, straight up, it looks like the least effective Warbond yet from a gameplay perspective. It does have a good theming, and it does look really cool. You know, we all love the Super Earth flag cape, at least I do. Just a lot of people are making posts right now such as, "Don't let anyone gaslight you, Masters of Ceremony is a meme Warbond and the devs know it." And other people are criticizing the criticizers, saying things like, "I'll give my take on the current drama. The people mad at it because of the passive and how useless," criminal statement by the way, "the flag stratagem is, are just meta slaves at this point. You can skip this Warbond, bro. Let people get drip." And also posting memes like this: "The flag is useless. You're wasting a stratagem slot. Who cares if it allows you to also carry your secondary? It ultimately hinders you. Quit having fun." Now, the thing about this, hot take, I know, if you think the Warbond looks cool, buy it. If you don't think the Warbond looks cool, then pass. We don't know, a big patch is coming. What if Arrowhead is planning some sort of collab again? If you only have like 1,000 or 2,000 super credits, maybe just hold off for a little bit until you get a bit more. There's usually long periods of time between big updates. You will have time to go back and purchase this once you've farmed a bit more super credits in game. Personally, I would say if you're not interested in it, just hold off for a little bit until later on when you just want something new to unlock. So we're going to be covering every aspect of this Warbond. Some of the things I noticed in the trailer about the primary weapon, because honestly, the primary weapon actually probably is going to be decent, doesn't look half bad. We're going to be talking about the flag because that's where my number one disappointment sits with. And then we're going to be talking about roleplay, realism, as well as like a ceremonial / challenge weapon. All right, so before we dive in, a quick shout out to our sponsor, Instant Gaming. Now, Instant Gaming has sponsored my channel for months now. I've personally used their service to save money on new releases, as well as older games I've wanted to replay at a heavily discounted rate. One of my viewers, Bird, has saved 1,500 euros in the past 7 years using this website. And if you're looking to purchase any games, you should just check to see if Instant has it first for cheaper. We all need to save money on video games, especially with the tariffs. They're also doing a giveaway this month for a free video game of your choice. There is a second link in the description to enter that, and it is for all platforms: PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. So first things first, when it comes to the primary weapon, you may not have noticed this, but in this scene right here, they are firing in 3-round bursts. Now, this guy up here makes it look full auto. It's only a 2-second clip, sorry. This guy up here makes it look a bit full auto. With that being said, though, you can fire 3-round bursts and make it look full auto. I would say it's definitely 3-round burst from this person shooting in the trailer. At the very least, it's not just a single shot weapon. So that's just one little thing I noticed. Now, I do believe it's based on the Justice from the first game, which is an assault rifle with a smaller magazine, but like a deadlier bullet. Now, since it is called the Amendment, which is definitely a riff off of the Constitution, and it has like the bayonet, it does like kind of look like the Constitution. I would just imagine it had the same bullet, which is what, 180 damage AP3, which is honestly good. Like, that's not a bad bullet. And with a 20-round mag, and if it has burst fire, that's actually pretty decent for a primary weapon. Now, with that being said, though, like another marksman sort of rifle in the game is not like super unique or super interesting. Like, the weapon looks good. It looks like it'll be fun to use, but it's not like the standout of the Warbond. Standout of the Warbond, in my opinion, should be the one true flag. Now, unfortunately, it just seems like it's going to be a melee weapon. Personally, when I see a flag in a video game, you know, Space Marine just did this with the Bulwark, but when you plant the flag down, you give your team a morale boost. Now, some people might be saying that's like space magic and like hell, that's not realistic for Helldivers. Okay, stick a button on the flag that emits stim gas in an 8-meter radius. And if your teammate's near you, they get a little bit of like just small passive healing, maybe even a little weaker than the stim gun. And then while we're at it, oh, the stim booster could be applied to that. While we're at it, it turns out, you know, it's totally reasonable that we can engineer stims with the stim booster So we can give different effects like reload speed and stuff like that. I just think there is a realistic way to give a morale boost that if you're standing near the flag and you maybe even click a button to emit that stim gas and it has to be resupplied, like, I feel like that's all totally reasonable within the bounds of this Warbond. Now, something else I noticed is he stabbed the Hive Guard in the trailer and it doesn't even die. So this is a support weapon, takes up a stratagem slot, doesn't even kill a Hive Guard, doesn't give a morale boost. So, like, personally, I am pretty disappointed in the flag stratagem. So let's talk about realism real quick, because, like, I feel like realism is just like a crutch or an excuse, and it's not really at the heart of a problem of what is seemingly just kind of an uninspired Warbond. Because, like, realistically, you know, there is something called a CO2 injected wasp knife, which, let's take a look at the wasp injection CO2 knife, the deadliest knife. This fixed blade features a CO2 cartridge in the handle and delivers an 800 PSI blast of compressed gas at the push of a button. This exists right now in real life. Like, we can make cool realistic things, or we can make the boring realistic things. And I'm just curious what the conversation around making this flag was. Like, they were all at the meeting table and someone was like, yo, I got a cool idea. We're gonna take the Super Earth flag and put a spearhead on it, and people are gonna be able to stab bugs with it. Oh, that's super cool. How strong should it be in game? Well, if you took a spear and stabbed a mutated bug, it would probably do, like, I don't know, 200 damage, medium pen. Yeah, you're probably right. That does seem realistic. All right, sounds good. Slap it in the game. Like, was that the whole conversation here? Personally, I just think that, like, if we're adding an update to a video game, it should probably be an update players are excited to actually go and try out. And we could just add, like, real quickly, just come up with a way cooler idea for doing that. All right, so now let's talk about the roleplay aspect, because, like, this post right here, you can skip this Warbond, bro. Let people get the drip. So people criticizing this Warbond are saying, oh, it's just another roleplay LARPing Warbond. Well, personally, again, I feel like that could be a crutch to defend it. Like, oh, we're making something roleplay for the memes. But why isn't the roleplay meme item actually good? Because let's talk about literally 2 Warbonds ago, Servants of Freedom. Very, very, very strong theming and roleplay and LARPing elements in Servants of Freedom. You are a martyr for democracy. There is nothing more democratic than literally giving your life. Hellbomb backpack. The Dickle literally sets you on fire and kills you. The ultimatum, if you use it in close range, you'll give your life for that as well. That was a very strong roleplay and theme in it, but the items are actually good. Now, they did nerf the Dickle and the ultimatum a little bit, but they are still really good if you really lean into them. Freedom's Flame. You are spreading the flames of democracy. Fireproof armor. Flamethrower primary. Right? This Warbond also has a very strong theming and roleplay tied into it, but the items are good. All right, so that's just my whole take on the roleplay thing. We can have roleplay and we can have good items. It's not mutually exclusive. Now let's talk about the Masters of Ceremony, because what other ceremonial rifle was added into the game? The Constitution. And the primary weapon in this Warbond also seems like an upgrade from that. Like, it's the good version of the Constitution. Ceremonial seems to just be another word for challenge weapons. Now, personally, I've defended the Constitution being bad. Do I regret it now because now we have a challenge Warbond? Maybe a little bit. But personally, I feel that in a game with almost 40 primary weapons now, one of them can be the challenge weapon for the 1% of players who are giga sweats and want to have a challenge in the game. Like, I think that's totally fine. And I would say you don't need to buff the Constitution, especially if they're going to release a better version. And we just got the Deadeye in the last Warbond. But that is for 1% of players. You shouldn't release a ceremonial Warbond to the entire player base because they're just going to end up maybe using it and role-playing it on a lower difficulty a few times. How long are people going to use the ceremonial and challenge weapons? Not that long. So, like, in a game with 40 primary weapons, if we just have one, that's the challenge weapon. I think that's fine. But in a Warbond full of challenge weapons, I just think it's a bit of a miss on the broader audience, in my opinion. And so that's my take on that. So personally, I feel as if like this Warbond definitely was a bit uninspired. Like I feel like they have been working like internally. Maybe there's some sort of internal fatigue going on because they have been working hard on these updates. Clearly, there's clearly going to be something coming soon because we haven't gotten an update in a long time. And then even this Warbond had a lot less items. Somebody posted this chart on Reddit a while back, predicting that the next Warbond would have 17 items, but it actually ended up only having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 items. And so, yeah, it just feels like on a lot of angles that this Warbond is below the level of quality. Let's even talk about the armor passive real quick. Just more limb health, and it's only a chance to not break limbs. And even if it was 100% chance to not break limbs, I still think it would not be a good armor passive. And I do feel like if we go back to Polar Patriots, when people were complaining how the armors didn't have snow cleats on them, the armor passives was one of the big complaints people had during the Polar Patriots controversy. And because of the Polar Patriots controversy, Arrowhead mentioned that they will be taking longer time to make higher quality Warbonds. Personally, I don't feel like if there's less items in a Warbond, that's a bad thing, because previously we didn't have high quality Warbonds. Well, if there's less items in a Warbond, it's fine if the quality goes up, but this one feels like there's less items and the quality has gone down. So personally, I'll probably just get this one just to test it real quick and post a YouTube video on it once it's out on Thursday. But after that, like, I probably won't end up playing with any of the weapons or the flag until they ended up buffing it in a later patch. Just personally, like, I don't think this Warbond is worth it right now. And I also want to mention, like, the money thing. You can farm super credits in-game. It's not really about the money for me. For some of you, it might be, and that's totally fair. But, like, when they give us free weapons that are not that good, like the Killzone Sniper, for example, they give it to us for free, and, like, I don't use that weapon either. I don't care if it's a free weapon or if it's a paid weapon. Personally, I would rather it be fun and exciting and add something new to the game, which the flag is really my biggest disappointment. I would have really looked forward to some sort of really cool moments where we plant the flag, morale boost our whole team. That is more fun roleplay even for me as well. Like, if the flag was actually useful, we would have way better roleplay moments. So that's why I'm trying to say that, like, I think the calling it just a roleplay item is kind of an excuse, because if it was actually a team-wide buff, then in that case, it would create better roleplay moments. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the Warbond. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out.